Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Millie and I love indie makeup, especially shiny, shifting, sparkly eyeshadows. And today's video is going to be all about the new JD Glow Multichromes, which I was not expecting at all. Like, they just randomly popped up some swatches and were like, oh yeah, we have new Multichromes, and I knew I had to get them. Pretty much immediately, they have 4 new multichrome shades and then another new shade that I actually didn't realize was in multichrome because I just went in on the website, I added everything to cart and I checked out, and then I got these in the mail and I was like, wait a minute, this one shade isn't a multichrome, it's not meant to be. That's why it was also cheaper. I would have noticed that, but I just blacked out because multichromes were involved. So I am going to include that shade in the swatches. Just keep in mind that it is not a multichrome. And then of course, I'm going to show you some swatch comparisons. So let's get right into the 3 looks and then I'll give you some of my thoughts at the end of the video. First up is Luna from JD Glow, then Iconic from Touch of Glam Beauty, then the Cosmos from Terra Moons. I think these are very similar in color and in shift. The texture is also pretty much on par between all these shades, except for the Cosmos is the flakiest. Next up is Supernova from JD Glow, then Red Carpet Ready from Touch of Glam Beauty, and Clionadh from Devinah. And Supernova and Red Carpet Ready are a little bit on the flakier side, while Clionadh is the smoothest out of all of these, but these are all very, very similar. Next up is Sirius and Shine Me a Kaleidoscope from Touch of Glam Beauty. These are the most similar I could find. Sirius has hard pan on me, but it is very, very smooth in the pan, while Shine Me a Kaleidoscope is a little bit flaky. But these are pretty similar, but not exactly the same. Sirius is very, very sheer. Had to build it up quite a bit. Last up is Aurora from JD Glow. Below that is Undeniably Pink from Touch of Glam Beauty. And below that is A Touch of Glam from Touch of Glam Beauty. Undeniably Pink and Aurora look basically identical. I'm going to be using the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette for the first look. Thought I would dip into these mattes. It's been since I did the original video. So first going in with Flapper. Right into my crease. I'm going to be using purple and blue for this look since the multichrome has got those 2 colors in it very predominantly. Going back in with a little bit more Flapper. There's really no lighter shade in here except for like a beige neutral. So I am trying to kind of keep it controlled to an extent. Next I'm taking Velvet and I'm just going to pop it right into the crease to deepen it up just a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit more Flapper, just put it up above where I went in with Velvet. And lastly, I'm taking Lavish onto the outer corner. Actually, I think I meant to dip into Curfew because that's a deeper blue. So I'm just going to put this out here, but I'm going to go in with Curfew because I did want to deepen it up a bit on this outer corner here. I'm using circular motions. Going in with a Lavish just a little bit to help blend this out. Going in with the Fernie Pixie Epoxy and just taking it all over the lid. I'm going to use the Rephr 02 brush to pick up some Sirius. And this is a very, very hard press. I feel you can already kind of see it in the pan. It looks like it's hard panning. It's very, very hard press. I'm really trying to dig in there to pick some of the shade up. And that did lay down really nicely with the Fernie Pixie Epoxy. Just gonna go in, keep adding. I do feel like I have to keep going back in to just pick up more. It's really, really hard. It is a really beautiful shade. It looks very green actually. Now that it's on the lid, putting down a little bit more here. So pretty. And you know I like to go in with my finger over it just to see if I can foil it even more. It's gonna be a little bit hard because it has hard panned. No pun intended there, but that is definitely even more foiled going over it with my finger. Finishing off this look with Curfew under my lower lash line. I picked up Galactic because I don't plan on using it all over the lid, but I really want to see what it looks like on, and I'm just putting that under my lower lash line, which I really like it there. Super pretty. Priming again with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer. And for this look, I'm going to use the mattes from the Michaela and Glam collaboration palette because, again, I haven't used this palette in a while. And there's some beautiful, like, somewhat pastel tones that I really want to pair with Luna, which this shade definitely reminds me of the Cosmos. I'll have to do a comparison. I haven't done the comparisons at the time that I'm filming these two looks. Going in with Rhody and popping that right into my crease. Whoa, pigmentation. I don't know why I don't remember how I like this palette. I think I liked it for the most part. I do remember some of these shades being a little tricky, but that was so nice to blend out. That was really easy to use. I see a little bit of teal in this shade, so I'm going in with Freetown on the outer corner. It's gonna be kind of the deepening up shade, even though it's not that much deeper. And I'm gonna take Rhody and blend it out with that. Go back in with Freetown a little bit. Again, it's not as deep as I would like this to be, but we're not here for a review for this palette. I'm gonna take a little bit of Mass Hole. I'm just curious how this is going to layer. Not bad, actually I really like the way that looks together. I'm actually gonna prime with the NYX glitter primer because the Luna shade looks like it's a little bit on the flaky side, and I like to use flakier textures with a glitter primer versus the Fairnay Pixie Epoxy. Again, using the Rephr 02 brush, and that is definitely a little bit on the chunky side. Oh yeah. So I'm glad I made that choice. Oh yes, so pretty. This is one of my favorite kinds of multichromes for sure, besides like Lucid Lavender, which they're kind of similar, but not exactly the same. Can't wait to compare to see. It does feel a little bit drier, but I think that might be because of the particle size. But that is so stunning. I definitely have some fallout. Finishing off this look with Freetown under my lower lash line. And I'm going to use Rhody on the other half under my lower lash line. Priming with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow primer. I'm going to be using my Lethal matte, so I'm going to go in with Crossroads first. And that's just going to go into the first half of my crease. I'm just going to be really blending it out. And then going in with Caps Lock, I'm just going to pop that right in there to just deepen it up a little bit. Also brightening it up, not really deepening it up per se. Next, going in with Cascade, and it's going to go right out here and a little bit into the inner portion of my lid. And lastly, taking Corrosion, that's going to deepen out this outer corner, and just going back in with a little bit more. Next, I'm taking the Fairnay Pixie Epoxy and just cutting it up above. We're taking Supernova. It's very hard pressed in there, and it seems like it's a flakier formula. This is a pretty stiff brush, so hopefully I'll be able to get some on. Definitely feel some fallout. And then above that, I'm gonna go in with Aurora. Also a little bit on the flaky side, but was able to pick it up easier. That is such a bright yellowy green shade. Here's the third finished look. So So the new Multichrome shades were $16 each, and they are 26mm pans, not the really large pans. So these are just like exactly the same thing as the black base Multichromes in terms of the pan size and the cost as well. And I do have those Multichromes, and I absolutely love those Multichromes. They're really beautiful, very metallic and shiny. They also have loose forms of those. Not sure if they plan on doing loose versions of these. As for the one shade that is not a Multichrome, I do find it interesting that it's in the 26mm pan size, because usually their regular metallic shades are in the 36mm pan size. So I'm curious to see if that is something that they're going to be crossing over to, or maybe it's just this particular shade it's better to have in the 26mm. But enough rambling about that. Let's talk about each of these new Multichrome shades. So first up, I'm going to talk about Serious, and this is that shade that really hard pan on me, like pretty much instantly when I swatched it. And that's usually not a big deal to me because I do have quite a bit of shades that are Multichromes, non-Multichromes, that do hard pan from different kinds of brands, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But it definitely caught me off guard because I do not have that issue with their other Multichromes. I was expecting them to be a little bit more on the creamy side, and these in general feel more dry and super hard press, particularly that Serious shade. And you can remove hard pan with some tape, so that is what I did with this shade. It will probably keep hard panning, so if you plan on buying these, I would probably just start using them on the lid with a brush versus going in with your finger. I was able to pick these up with a brush. It was a little bit harder just because they are harder pressed, but I was able to get them on. They were absolutely beautiful. Supernova and Luna do feel like the creamiest out of all these shades. The rest of them feel a bit more on the drier side, and they are also the flakiest. So that is something else to keep in mind if you don't like textured eyeshadows. All in all, I am a little bit disappointed in these, and it is not because I want them to be like squishy or super emollient. That's not really like anything that I specifically look for and that makes a formula great, but I just find them a little bit harder to use. It's just not what I was expecting. I definitely prefer their black base Multichrome formula to these. Just in general, they apply easier, they look super metallic. These do look really beautiful, but they're just not like blowing me out of the water, you know? Personally, I would say wait for these to go on a little bit of a sale at least, or at least use a 10% off coupon. JD Glow does usually have faster shipping than the other brands that were in the comparison, so that is something to keep in mind. So those are my thoughts on the new JD Glow Multichromes, and I will keep playing with them, and I will let you know if anything changes. And let me know in the comments below if you bought these and what you think of them. Maybe you have a totally different opinion on these. I would love to hear your thoughts, and that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much indie makeup content, lots and lots of Multichromes already on my channel, and much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.